I was born in Sauk Center, Minnesota. And I grew up there, went to high school, graduated 67. In 1968, I got a letter from you, Uncle Sam, saying, come on over here. Well, the first two I threw away, but the third one I got, they came and got me.
So didn't really give you a choice.
I made them work for their money.
So where did you end up going to basic training?
I went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky for basic.
What was basic training like?
It was a bitch. Back then, it was a bitch.
What did they have you guys doing?
Oh, I mean, everything. Everything was running here, running there, exercise all day long, just about trying to train you to be airborne ranger.
Yeah.
Because that's where 101st was based. And after, I think it was 3 days of testing, I was called into the commanding officer's office, and he said, you have real potential. We need people that are good at doing maintenance. He says, we're using helicopters over there, and we would like to put you into a aircraft maintenance school. So, well, whatever. He said, if not, you will end up being a ground pounder. I said, well, I've heard about them. So I decided, well, I'll give it a shot. So they sent me, after basic, they sent me to Fort Rucker, Alabama. I spent 12 weeks down there, and next step was Vietnam.
So where did you go when you first flew into Vietnam?
I was stationed at Long Binh.
Long Binh, okay.
It's in the southern, down towards Saigon. Yeah, we were only like, I think 20 miles from Saigon, actually.
Okay. So, after you got to Long Binh, what was your first initial thoughts? Other than it's hot as hell.
You walk out of the airplane and you get hit with smells you will never forget. And the humidity and the heat are way off the chart. Even for a southern boy, it was. I know there was some guys I went over there with from like Alabama, Georgia. They could not even handle the heat. Yeah. It was that bad.
Yeah, I heard it was extremely humid out there.
Oh, yeah, everything was humid.
Why can't we ever go to war in like Hawaii or,
I don't know. Well, you wouldn't get me to Hawaii.
Oh, really?
No.
Beautiful down there.
It was not for me. That was as humid as Vietnam.
Okay, so after you get there, like what was the initial like incoming? So what did you start doing when you first got there?
I ended up at a replacement center, which was about a half mile from where I basically ended up. And from there, they shipped me to group headquarters, which was about 40 miles away, up north. Was there for a day. Flew back down to Long Binh. And then from there, they sent me to battalion headquarters, which was about 10 miles north. And I was there for a day. And that night we had to pull guard duty. Everybody did. And I mean, you're 50 feet from a jungle.
Yeah, you can't really see inside that stuff, huh?
Scary as hell, for a new dick anyway. And then from there, they sent me to my company, which was about a half mile from where I started.
And that's where all the Hueys were that you were doing maintenance on?
Yeah, we did maintenance on Hueys.
So what was like the regular maintenance that you guys had to do when you guys were there?
We would take them, when they came in for regular maintenance, every 100 hours of flying, they had to have everything torn down, checked out, complete overhaul pretty much.
Yeah.
Put them all back together, send them back out.
Were they fairly easy to work on?
They were very easy to work on. Yeah. It was a lot of fun doing it, But, sometimes there was some stuff like transmissions and engines they sent off to get work done.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff we did, in-house.
Okay, so how many missions were your Hueys flying a day? Was it usually like one a day, or
we
was it more?
had, I think in our company we had like 22 or 23 aircraft, and 5 or 6 were flying night missions, and the rest would be flying during the day.
Okay. Did you ever get like any kind of, obviously they were getting attacked here and there. So did you ever have to have any comeback that you had to, decommission because of fire or?
Yes. We'd had some shot down. We'd have to go out, haul them back in, repair them, send them back out again.
How did
They had some that just crashed, and we just go pick up the pieces. And
wasn't it common practice out there that if a Huey crashed, they blow it up with like C4 or something like that, just so the enemies can't use it? Or
to
no?
bring it back if they can.
Oh wow! So yeah, I was always under the impression, Hollywood, of course, that they would blow up the aircraft, so the enemy can't use it.
If it was unrecoverable, then they would.
Gotcha.
But if it was any way possible, they brought the aircraft back, even if it was in pieces.
Yeah. How long were you there again?
I was there 2 years. Well, actually 26 months.
Okay. Didn't you got to fly a couple missions as a 60 guy?
Yeah, I did.
How often did you do that?
I would say probably once every 6 weeks I would volunteer for simple mission.
What was that like? What went through your mind?
We
when you
would
first
fly paperwork or like a colonel or general or wherever. We'd fly him somewhere that he wanted to go and whatever, and BS like that. But I did go on one combat assault, and that was enough for me.
So what exactly went down with that one? Like, what was the time of day and everything?
Well, you got 8. Well, you start at 6 in the morning, get everything all ready, fly wherever you're going to pick up your troops, get briefed, load up 7 or 8 per chopper, take off, fly wherever they were going to land. And we always had cover ships, Cobras, and that would see if there was any activity going on. And if it was a hot LZ, we came in blazing. If not, we could set them on down and unload them.
You know what they were doing that mission? It was like a search
We
and
never
rescue,
knew
or?
what they were looking for, but it was more than likely search and destroy.
So what was the feeling of that? Like, flying out for some of these missions and having no idea what you're actually doing?
Well,
Or what you're protecting?
when you set foot in a helicopter, your life expectancy went from wherever to 15 minutes. When they told you that you set foot on a helicopter, your life expectancy was 15 minutes. If you lasted more than that, you were really lucky. So a lot of these missions were kind of scary.
Did you ever lose anybody in your unit while you were there?
Oh, yes. I know 24 names on the wall.
What ended up happening with some of those? Was it just helicopter crashes?
Some of them would crash, burn. A few of them got killed. Most of them that I knew would crash and burn.
So what happened during some of those missions? Like, say you would have one of your guys crash. Would you guys go out?
Transmission failure. The rotor blades would seize up and stop turning, and you fall like a rock.
I guess there's
nothing you could do except bend over and kiss it goodbye.
What are the chances of somebody actually surviving a crash like that?
Very slim. I mean,
that's a fireball when it crashes, right now.
Pretty much, yep.
That's got to be rough dealing with that.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys have funerals for them? Were you there?
We had company memorial, yeah.
That's going to be crazy knowing that you're
yeah,
there for 2 years. And
I had 2 real good friends of mine that died while I was over there.
What happened?
Both of them crashed. I mean,
were they out on mission?
kind of sucked, but
Yeah.
that was life, I guess.
That's the unfortunate part when you're at war. It's not like you just get to pack up and go home.
Yeah,
when
no,
something
you
bad
don't.
happens, you just have to shut the fuck up and deal with it. That's the hard part,
There you
and
go.
I feel like that's why a lot of Vietnam vets suffered when they came back, because they either would conceal the fact that they were a veteran because people treated you guys like shit.
You got treated like shit. You didn't want to admit that you were over there. Yep.
Well, it's almost, from what I've heard from other Vietnam vets, it's, when you come home, you almost had to create a new identity, because if you said anything about being a vet, or like nowadays, you come home and you say you're a vet and people say thank you and they treat you well.
That was not that way though then, no.
Did you have any experiences with...
Well, yeah, I got in a lot of fights.
Didn't you say you knocked a dude out at the airport or some shit one day when you got
Coming back on one flight, yes, coming through Oakland Airport. We were in like a formation, and these hippies were taunting us, and one of them just got too close, and I just kind of reached out and touched him.
I bet he stopped talking shit after that. Huh?
He just kind of passed out. He laid there.
You guys didn't get in trouble for stuff like that.
Guy behind me said, "Nah, just keep going." No, never did.
Yeah, luckily we never had to. We never really had to deal with any of that coming back. We had a few people here and there, talking shit, saying that you don't even know why you joined the military. You're just a fucking idiot, and you didn't know what to do. You didn't want to go to college. We're like, okay, look at you with $50,000 of student debt. I have none. Who's the smart one? That's crazy. So, what year did you fly that mission? The combat mission. Did you say you guys ended up picking up a body?
That was in '69.
Did you guys pick up a body on the way back from that one?
Well, we did pick up bodies and that, and did medevacs, all kinds of shit.
You told me a story once of you ended up going on a landing zone and a bunch of people just running up with a tarp and ended up putting a guy on there, and he was still alive at the time, correct?
He was, yep. And he was just, he was barely 18, I think. And I never got to talk to him. I talked to him about, we'll get you home, whatever. But he never made it to the hospital, and it was only like a 5-minute flight.
That's rough. It's unfortunately I've been in that position too. Holding somebody's hand when they're dying. It's like, what do you say? what are you supposed to say to this person to make them feel better when you know that they are going to
I
die?
know.
So that's something that, that I've held on for quite a while. And actually talking about what happened with other people and friends and family has made it a little bit easier to handle.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, you're
but
sitting there.
But at first it's like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah. What do you say? Do you lie to him? Is it the moral obligation to lie to this guy or to tell him the truth?
The guy, he was not even old enough to grow a mustache. And when we dropped him off, I got it in my mind that I would grow one for him. I still have it today.
It's a pretty good mustache too. I keep getting yelled at every time I start growing mine out.
Oh yeah.
So I just shave it off.
No, I did shave it off one time, about 5 years ago. But then,
what year did you end up getting back to Minnesota?
I came back in July of '71.
So what was life like when you got back?
There was a young guy that decided it was time to pick on a soldier. I was at a bar one night, and he decided he was going to kick my ass.
Did it
Didn't
work?
happen. Didn't happen.
What happened with that?
I think he kind of passed out for some reason.
Yeah. He slipped and fell.
He just was not tough enough.
So you told me once about a road trip that you ended up taking that ended up taking quite a while.
When I got back home, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. Didn't know where I wanted to go. So one day I decided I would just get in my car and start driving.
Where'd you end up?
I went from Minnesota out to Seattle, Washington. From there, I went down to close to San Diego.
Did you visit any of your old Vietnam buddies?
What I did was worked my way across country. When I needed money, I stopped, found a job, worked there for a little while, back on the road. And I've met a few that were, but none of them right then, really wanted to talk about what they did or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just let it go. I figured, well, I'm in the same boat they are,
Why do you think that is that they didn't want to talk about it? What's your interpretation of
It
that?
was just the public's view of the veteran. They did not want to hear about it, shit like that.
Yeah. So it seems like a lot of you guys just kind of buried everything. And that, eventually ended up hurting, your generation a lot more than most folks know. I mean, it is well known that the Vietnam era veterans were not treated well. That's pretty obvious. And if anybody doesn't know that, I mean, I'd be surprised. Yeah. But it's just, I can't imagine coming back. We still get some flack sometimes, for my generation of vets, for the OIF, OEF. If you're too vocal, sometimes people will get on you about it, or call you a pussy, or say, get over it, all this stuff. That obviously is starting to change, and I vowed to be one of the people that will change the stigma of talking about about PTSD or certain events that happen in your life that are causing you issues. Because you can't control your dreams at night.
Well, exactly.
You can't control what you see when you're sleeping. And that stuff can ruin your day. You wake up just seeing a guy that's standing there with half his head blown off.
Yeah.
That's going to mess with your day just a little bit, And so when people don't talk about it, it hurts me to know that, to feel like they're not comfortable enough to actually talk about some of the things that they've been through, because that's just, you're walking towards, a deep depression.
Yep,
You know, if
definitely.
that's what you put yourself through.
I was definitely lost there for a while, but when I came back home, I got as far around the country as hitting
You were heading to New Orleans, weren't you?
Texas. No, I didn't get to New Orleans. I wanted to.
That's where you're heading, though?
When I went through Texas and I hit I-35W, or I-35, something in my mind said, time to go home. So I just headed north. And
What year was this?
that was in 71. No, 72, early 72. Yeah, it was right after New Year's in 72.
Okay.
And I came back.
Where'd you end up when you came back?
And, well, I ended back home. But then from there, I just kind of wandered around the local area.
What'd you end up doing for work?
I finally decided I needed to get me a good job, so I found a job at a granite company. We're operating a wire saw, actually two of them, a big one and a little one. And I worked there for 9 months. And I met my wife while I was, back home here, and we got engaged, and I decided, it's, time to settle down, so we decided to get married, and then my sister-in-law's husband worked for a local contractor, and he offered me a job building houses and stuff. And I said, sounds interesting. I'd give that a shot. Well, I worked that for 25 years.
So you ended up marrying your wife.
Yeah, we got married in 73.
What was her name?
And Eileen.
Eileen. Where was she from?
She was from Avon.
Avon's just a little bit east of Sauk Center, right?
Just, it was a little east of Sauk Center, about 25 miles.
Oh, okay. How did you guys end up meeting?
Hell, I don't even know. I think we was in a bar. Yeah, a buddy of mine and I were doing the bars one night, and we met her and her girlfriend there. She didn't drink, but her girlfriend did. So
how did that turn into a relationship? Did you guys end up just getting together?
Yeah, we got together, and I mean, hell, started going together, and a year later we were married. So.
Oh wow, that's quick. She got you on the hook quick.
Uh huh.
You had grandkids though.
I've got two. Yeah.
What are their names?
The oldest one is Onyx, and the youngest one is Kyle.
She died a couple years ago, correct?
In 2007, yeah, breast cancer.
What happened with that?
Well, on her, it was in 2005 on her birthday, January 26th, she discovered a lump. I said, well, let's go check this sucker out. She called the hospital in St. Cloud, and we went in. They did an exam. The doctor says, we'll do a biopsy, and we'll let you know. Okay, so we headed on home. We was only, was it 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most, because we went cross country on the back roads, and by the time we got back home, there was a message on the machine saying, you need to come back in and talk to the doctor. And the doctor said that lump, they'd have to remove it. So they did that, removed it. They did radiation and chemo, but that didn't work.
What year did she pass away? What year did she pass away?
She passed away in 2007 on my birthday.
What have you been doing since?
Let me see. Well, actually, I haven't been doing anything except getting fat since 2003 when I was forced into retirement by having a massive heart attack,
Really?
major heart attack, and 2 strokes. I had to learn how to dress myself, walk, pretty much everything. I had to be retaught.
Because of the stroke?
Because of the strokes, yeah. I mean, it messed me up good.
You told me about a time where you met up with a couple of your, some old Vietnam veteran buddies. You started going to the VFW over in St. Cloud, right?
That was back in 77, 78.
Do you guys still get together? Or?
I had met this guy at a store, and he looked at me kind of funny, and then he said something that's, I mean, it was strange, but the way he said it, he said, "You've got that 1,000-yard stare." And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah." He said, you and I need to go to a meeting." I said, "What kind of a meeting?" He says, "Well, it's a bunch of us vets get together and bullshit, once a week or whatever." Well, that sounds like it might be fun. I said, "Yeah, we can do that." So then I said, whenever I have, if it's on a Wednesday night, I work most weeks, so Monday to Friday or Saturday. So I said, if it's possible, if I'm around, I said, yeah, I'll give you a call and I'll let you know. So about a month later, I got a day or 2 off. Excuse me. And it was in the winter time. Work was slow. So he decided to take me to the meeting. It was out at the VA in St. Cloud. And first couple times I just sat there and listened. I mean, it was like just a bullshit session. And
Which is guys talking about Vietnam and some of the things.
I was reminiscing and that, and then just generally talking, and everybody started, spilling their feelings and all this and that. Well, then I just kind of gradually started to, just being able to visit and talk to them, it helped a hell of a lot, because there was just more than just me out there that were, that needed that.
Yeah, and I think the reason, one of the biggest reasons why I started Warriors Next Adventure obviously was, we talked a little bit about why, I'm doing this, but I think about how many veterans are actually suffering without saying anything, because you get a lot of people will say, "Oh, just shut up, keep it to yourself, bury it."
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I am so against that. And with you saying that these guys that you met up with, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to diagnose people. I'm not trying to tell people, "Oh, you have PTSD, you have this." No, I'm trying to give you an outlet. And that outlet is similar to what you were going through, and just having a group of guys a bunch of like-minded individuals, people who have been through some of the things that you've been through. Maybe not exactly the same, but similar, right?
Yeah.
But we're quite similar, to some of the experiences we've been through. Some more than less, but I mean, I always say you got to stop comparing yourself to other veterans.
Yeah.
We have certain people who say, like, listen, I was in the military, but I never deployed, and I'm not doing great. He's like, but I can't say anything because people give me shit. I was like, well, I won't. I was like, because I understand. I think people do need to work on, improving themselves and keep
definitely.
working forward, right? But admitting that you might be suffering or might be having an issue is the first step. So the people that sit and whine and complain about, oh, I feel like this, I feel like this, I feel like this, but don't do anything to fix it.
Doing nothing about it. Well,
exactly. Don't sit, bitch, and complain. Do something about it. And reaching out to somebody like Warriors Next Adventure or a therapist or a peer-to-peer group like you were going to, it helps a lot, And I hate seeing the fact that people are so secluded. Like Ron was telling me that they have a group of Vietnam from his unit. They get together every year, and there's still a couple guys from the unit that just refuse to go because they don't want to talk.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about it. Yeah,
and that makes me sad. I wish everybody would at least talk about it, or even just get together.
Just to get together. I mean, hell yeah.
It's like communication is the most important thing in the world.
That is the most important thing. Yep.
Well, I'm happy you say that because that's what I've been screaming since I started this foundation or this nonprofit. Is I want people to start communicating more, and that's why I started this podcast as well, so people could share their stories. You could share your story about Vietnam, and I can listen to it because I love stories. I'm a storyteller, and so I like to collect stories and listen to them and tell them because you can learn something from everybody's experience. And I think people are so closed off these days to communication. Even though we have social media and everybody is constantly communicating. But
they're communicating, but they're off by themselves.
Yeah,
they're
exactly. You're not getting that human interaction.
Yeah, you're not getting the human interaction.
Yeah, it's a lot different when you're communicating through a phone. Unfortunately, a lot of what I do is online.
Yeah,
because I got veterans all across the country that I'm talking to. But if you can't reach out to a group of vets that you're close to,
but you got to get face to face with people,
yes.
And talk.
Absolutely. The last thing I want is a vet sitting at home by himself, feeling like he's got nobody to talk to. I hate that. If there was any advice you could give to any veterans out there struggling or not, what would you say?
If you know a fellow veteran, talk to them. If you have any problems, talk to them.